This is tofu, and so is this, and actually this too. I know, right? Tofu can be used in so many different great recipes. I kept seeing a short pop up in my feed from Haley Burns titled the same thing as this video, where she used tofu to make a universal dough. That's what she said, and I wanted to try it out. So I've been on a high protein kick lately, so this seemed to fit what I was looking for. First up, she made a ball of dough. She just used about half of a brick of firm tofu and a cup of flour. I'm just gonna mix this by hand, then knead it on my cutting board for a few minutes until I have a nice soft dough. Now, the first thing I wanted to try was she made these little dough balls that she air fried, and they looked really good. So first I'm gonna cut this dough ball into 4 pieces, then roll out 2 of those pieces into longer ropes, and then cut those into smaller little like thumb-sized balls. She actually used these to make like a gnocchi, like a tofu gnocchi, which did, look really good. I'm gonna roll them into little balls, toss them in a little bit of olive oil, salt, and nutritional yeast, and I'm gonna toss them into an air fryer for about 10 minutes at 375 degrees. Now, while those are cooking, she made these little flatbreads that looked perfect for like sandwiches, and I thought, heck, this was an easy dough to make. So I'm gonna roll out those 2 extra pieces that I had pretty flat, toss them into a slightly oiled nonstick pan over a medium-high heat, flip them around a few times until they're nicely toasty on each side, and boom. These came out pretty perfect, and so did the air fryer crisps. They're nice and crispy, made a nice dough ball center, and they were really flavorful. They were just really good, perfect little snack. Now the same for these flatbreads, really nice and doughy, maybe a little bit more dense than your traditional flatbread, but still really good flavor, and the texture would be awesome for a sandwich, really nice and bendy. And each flatbread has about 8 grams more protein than any of your traditional flatbreads would have, so that's pretty nice. Now I can't wait to try a few other versions of the things that she made, but today I had an idea. As you saw in the beginning, I wanted to see if I can turn this into a bagel. So I'm gonna mix a traditional bagel recipe with this dough, and we're gonna change things up a bit. First, I'm gonna start with a half cup of warm water in a small bowl, along with 1 teaspoon of sugar, I'm gonna use the brown kind, 2 teaspoons of instant dry yeast. I'm gonna mix that together and let it sit for a bit. Then I'm gonna add the half block of firm tofu to a stand mixer, along with 1.5 cups of flour, a big pinch of salt, a teaspoon of molasses, and that now super foamy yeasty water. I'm gonna make these extra yeasty. Now we're just gonna kick on the stand mixer and allow this all to come together into a dough ball. Once it's together, I'm gonna roll it out onto a floured work surface and knead it for about 5 minutes. Then add a little bit of olive oil to a bowl, toss the dough ball in, roll it around in the olive oil, and then cover it up and toss it into a warm spot in the kitchen for around an hour, which is plenty of time for today's sponsor.
So I used cheap disposable razors and razor cartridges my whole life, and I was over it. The nicks, cuts, along with the blades being expensive and dealing with dumb subscription services, it was just all a hassle. And that's why you gotta meet Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for their International Space Station and Mars rover, and now they're bringing precise engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades are kind of like diving boards. The longer the board, the more the wobble. The more the wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes you're going to get. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of a human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. And I love that it has built-in channels to evacuate the hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. The Henson razor works with standard dual-edged blades to give you that old-school shave with the benefits of new school tech. And once you own a Henson razor, it's only $3 to $5 a year to replace the blades. That's incredible. So gang, it's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that will last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/Saucestache to pick up razor for you and use code Saucestache and you'll get 2 years worth of blades for free with your razor. Just make sure you add them to the cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/Saucestache and use code Saucestache. Henson, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for making the way I shave so much better.
Okay, now we're back. Now, once he has risen, I'm going to remove him from the oven. Don't ask why I gendered him. But now I'm just going to punch the dough down a bit, divide them into about 4 pieces, and then we're going to roll each piece into a ball, poke a small hole into the center. I probably went a little bit too big, and then just gently stretch into shape. These are sticky, so I'm going to really kind of watch what I'm doing here. I don't want to tear these apart. Now, I'm going to toss them onto like a non-stick cutting board, and at this point, I'm going to get a large pot. I'm going to use a Dutch oven on the stove with about 4 cups of water on the heat, and I'm gonna add in a teaspoon of molasses and whisk in. Now, I probably used too much molasses here, but more on that later. Now, once this is at a boil, I'm gonna gently lower 2 of the bagels in at a time and let those simmer for about a minute on each side. Then just transfer them over to a parchment paper lined baking sheet. I'm gonna cover them in some everything seasoning. You can do whatever you want. Sesame seed, poppy seed, onion, garlic, however you wanna do them. Then we're just gonna toss them into a preheated oven at 400 degrees and bake for around 30 minutes. And boom. I mean, these honestly look pretty good. I'm pretty stoked about them. I'm gonna let them cool down just a little bit, then we're gonna slice them, toast them up, and serve. Now, you can make a bunch of these and freeze these, but I wanted to know what Monica has to say, so we're gonna smear one half with a little bit of tofu, the other half we're gonna leave plain, and here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Grab the plain side first.
First, I can't believe how much this looks like a bagel.
I mean, it's kind of a bagel. It's just a bagel with like tofu. I mean, I think
you made it with tofu.
It's a high protein bagel.
Let's see what it's cool.
Let's see what it's like.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is delicious.
It is really good.
It tastes like a bagel.
So yeah, I mean, it's like the same doughy. It has a lot of the same like texture. Like,
oh yeah, this tastes like a bagel to me. I would have no idea this isn't a bagel. But yeah, it's doughy. It's actually like nice and like soft. Like,
yeah,
it's a fluffy bagel.
Super good. Well, here, let's try the cream cheese side. Tofu and see. I mean, really, with that side, we already know. But here, go ahead.
Blowing my mind.
Yeah, I know. It's super good.
This is delicious.
I know.
Let me try this. I love this cream cheese on this bagel.
I know. It actually works as a bagel perfectly.
It's really like comforting.
Yeah, it is. It's really like,
yeah, it tastes really good.
you know, I don't know how to describe it. So it has all the good qualities of a bagel, plus maybe a little bit more springiness to it. Like,
yeah, like I was saying, like it's a fluffy, cloudy bagel.
It's a fluffy, yeah, it's fluffy, but it's also dense at the same time.
Yeah, you can taste the doughiness.
Yeah, I mean, super good. I probably could have used maybe a little bit less molasses, but other than that, I am stoked about this recipe. I think you're gonna love it.
I tasted the molasses and I wasn't sure if that was the cream cheese because I didn't taste it so much in the other bagel, but like on this, the flavor comes out because I was like, oh, it's got this kind of like sweetness aftertaste, like it comes out later, like almost like I was like, oh, is there like almond extract? But I guess it was molasses.
It's molasses.
But it tastes like a very like light extract, but it's like awesome.
It is really good. Well, there we go. That is bagel made from tofu. I mean, honestly, you can't beat it.
Awesomeness.
Thanks, baby. I'm so glad you like these that much.
So good.
Yeah. Well, we got 3 more.
Okay.
This could be breakfast tomorrow. We'll do bagels and pear lox.
I love that. Sounds good.